Hi Aries Rising, how are you? This is your Gemini New Moon video. This is happening, of course, May 26, 2025, and it's in your third house of communication, of learning, and your siblings, short distance travel as well, your local community, like your neighborhood, even your neighbors. So this new moon is really asking you to voice your desires, voice what you want, use your voice for maybe social justice, maybe for your community, using your voice to teach something new. But it's really time to start working on how you want to, the narrative that you want people to know you for. I think that's a really good way to put this new moon for you. If you've been thinking about starting the podcast, the blog, collaborating with others to do those things, writing the book, starting the book, this would be the new moon to really set those intentions, and then really start making a plan for it. If this is about short distance travel, this is a time to do that as well, making sure you have all of the documents that you need to do that. If this is reconnecting with like your neighbors or people in your community, I'm going to take this card and this card because probably if that is something that has been a theme, then this is the time to do that. I would also say, because of the cards that I received, Seven of Swords and Ace of Wands in reverse. Let's see. There you go. There could be like you found out some information. Remember, Pluto in the 11th house is going to make a trine. So maybe your friends in your community haven't always been there in the way that you thought they were there. Seven of Swords. Maybe there's something that has happened, Aries Rising, in that community where you feel like they have been deceitful and the truth is now coming out and you're like, what? And because it hasn't always been, because you have been feeling some type of way about your friendship group, your network, your neighborhood, your community, it has gotten you out of your creative bag. You stopped writing, you stopped doing teaching engagements, or you felt like people didn't want you to come in and teach, or whatever that might feel like or look like to you. I'm saying with this new moon, there is an opportunity to look for, search out better teaching opportunities, better communities, better ways to share your story. You just have to realize that you need to, the goal is to align to the peoples that will support that, right? And sometimes that's really hard to give up the past people that don't really align to who we are at this present moment. So I'm saying it's time to do that so we can turn these around. Also, because you have that Mars, Venus also training your rising, is like you're maybe seeing a little bit clearer now. You're a little bit more feisty. You're a little bit more spicy. So you say some things to some people and then you really start going after your passion, your joy, taking a little bit of a calculated risk. I really do like that for you. I think this Gemini new moon will be amazing. All right. See you next month, hopefully. All right, Taurus and Taurus Rising. Here we go. So there's been so many things, fixed signs, Taurus specifically. There's just been so much change, so much transformation, so many things going on. And it's just been like, oh my God, not another thing happening in my first, fourth, seventh, or 10th house. You get a little reprieve here. And I like this because I think you have been just getting beat up like all the other fixed signs in your identity and in your home and in your one-to-one relationships and your career. So this Gemini new moon is happening in the second house where your money lives, your values, your self-worth, your material possessions. And it's going to really make like a really transformative aspect to Pluto in your 10th house, right? So here's the thing. It's time to really think about your budget. Think about how you're investing. Think about the money that you're actually making from the job that you're, the career, whatever you're doing, how you make your money. And this Gemini new moon comes in, and maybe like a teacher comes in, a coach comes in, someone to help you with your money, your resources, and aligns you to your values, helps you with that. I love that for you. I also think that this is an opportune time for you to um, communicate what you need. Communicate, and this could be like for yourself. If you've been feeling low lately, like lack of uh, self confidence, this is the time to really seek out somebody, maybe, or really speak words of affirmation over your life. I like this new moon for you. I think this is a time where you can get a little bit of rest. You can kind of like take stock of where your money looks and your material possessions are now. And also take a little look at how maybe your career, how you're moving in your career is kind of affecting your material possessions or affecting your self esteem. And then really set some intentions on how you want to move through this world in regards to 10th house things and your self-worth. All right, so let's pull a card for you, or two or three. Let's see. Two of Cups in reverse. I think this is more about like you. I will always say, of course, when I do tarot, it is literally about the person and not about all the other things. And if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But this is really giving me like maybe your career, your self worth, and how much you're making are all at odds. So, what you're doing for work or for your long time success is really not making the money that you need to make. And then it's emotionally draining you. You're just like, I'm only making this much money. Am I really just worth this? There is no union there. There is no emotional fulfillment, emotional support in those areas of your life. The Two of Cups in reverse really does deal with delays in those like delays in love, delays in emotional support, delays in that. And I can see this being very, with all the Scorpio full moon that you had, just a lot of the things that have been happening in your first house as you're changing, as you're transitioning. Things are starting to change, and it might be like a little unnerving and really have you question your self-worth, your values, your self-confidence, and then that shows in your finances and it shows up in your career. I would say if this is the thing, this is a really good time to get with like a financial advisor, get with like a business coach, someone that can help guide you. This could even be like just like a mentor that speaks encouragement over your life. Gemini thing, speak. Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. This is your Gemini New Moon video. So this new moon is happening on May 26, 2025. And for you, it's in your 12th house. The sun is in the hidden house, right? The house of rest, spirituality, subconscious. The moon is also there. Jupiter has also been there where it has not had a good time, probably. So many things have probably come up for you in regards to communication and like things being communicated to you through your subconscious and things that you might not have even realized were still even things that you needed to heal from or rest from. Maybe this last year has been a time for you, especially with Jupiter in the 12th, has really been a time for you to expand in your spirituality, seeking out new ways to heal and transmute crazy things that might have happened to you in the past. However, and now that we have this new moon and the sun there, it's actually a really great opportunity to really listen to yourself, listen to your intuition and the inklings on how to move forward when it comes to rest, spirituality, and your subconscious, especially when it's like old patterns, behaviors, triggers, and that nature. Set some intentions around that. If you've been having dreams in the area of like how to move forward in resting, like actually taking rest seriously, or having dreams about how to move forward in your healing journey, this would be the time to really like journal that and then seek out that support. It's going to make a harmonious aspect, if we can call an aspect to Pluto harmonious, to your 8th house of deep emotional work, right? Healing shadow shit, healing deep intimate connections. If any of your rest and healing work that you've been doing has been around one-to-one partnerships or intimate partnerships, this is the new moon to set some intentions to finally get like a hold of that and really start moving forward in that area of your life. Let's see. It really is a phoenix moment. It really is a phoenix moment. So if you are okay with burning everything to the ground, knowing that what comes up, what will remain is a brand new, beautiful you, then this is a time to do those things that need to be done to do that. This is a card for you. And just when I say that, we get the Six of Wands, victory, success. You know, victory and success, fire energy. And Mars and Venus. Mars was in your first house for such a long time, moved into your second house where it will be, excuse me, where it will be for another month or so. And then you also have, we also have Venus in Aries that might be that's squaring your Cancer rising as well, and any other Cancer placements that you have. So there has been this feeling of stagnation and obstacles and change and just not knowing how to move forward. The card that we get is the victory card, a fire energy card. Maybe after all of this drama, after all of this reflection, after all of this like deep rest, you can now move forward and feel successful, feel energized, feel really ready to move forward in a way that is very authentic to you. I do love this card because she's like, you can tell that she has been through it, because when you throw your arms up in the air in celebration and joy, it's such a testimony. If you grew up sorry, if you grew up in the Black church, you know that one of the things that happens like during praise and worship service is people really throw up their hands, and it's really because they're really feeling a moment of like, we can make it through. I've made it through. Times have been really, really challenging. Don't really practice that anymore, but this card just really reminds me of that kind of feeling and that kind of emotion, because that's real. No matter if you practice organized religion, that moment of victory is really real after you come out of a storm. All right. I hope this is helpful for you. I will see you next month, hopefully. All right. Here we go. Hi, Leo and Leo Rising. This is your new moon in Gemini reading for your new moon reading. This is happening, I said it already, May 26, 2025. And for you, this is in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, your networks, your community. It's just you being out there. You know, Jupiter has been there. If you are like me, if you were born in 1978, you might have, or in maybe 1977, you might have Jupiter in Gemini. I am in my Jupiter return. I am a 29th degree Jupiter in Gemini, a critical degree. You know, that says a lot about my life. But anyway, so you have been in this period already of exploring new dreams, exploring your hopes and your wishes, exploring new communities, maybe collaborating with people in your community. It's really been an expansion on how to move forward in that way, probably in very unexpected ways as well. Jupiter in Gemini does work really well with your rising sign, right? It makes a sextile, so it's very harmonious. But Jupiter, because it's not very comfortable in Gemini, you might have been overwhelmed with the amount of information or how to collaborate, where to collaborate, how to move forward in that area, and then you just might have gotten overstimulated and stopped, right? Understandable. We now have Mars back into your first house for quite some time. We have Venus in Aries in your ninth house. We have Neptune there already. There is this feeling of change and transformation, but also in being able to move forward. With this new moon and the sun in your 11th house, you are reassessing the people, places, the communities, your hopes, wishes, and dreams, and you're really fine tuning what that looks like to you, what it should look like to you. If you need to continue on the path that you're on because those people are really aligned, those communities are really aligned, those neighborhoods, those networks are really like, all right, showing up for you and you're showing up for them in a way that feels authentic, cool beans. But if it's not, you can definitely refresh your social circles and refresh your goals and long-term dreams. Don't be scared to do that. You have the energy to behind you to move forward in that way. Remember, this is going to make an aspect, this new moon and the sun is going to make an aspect to Pluto in your seventh house, a trine, a harmonious aspect. So really, you are looking at close relationships. You are going through a metamorphosis when it comes to your friendships and your community and old patterns that might have kept you a little bit codependent and not so authentic. It's okay to change. It's okay to find new friend groups. It's okay to find new social circles. It's okay to do all of that. We know you because Leo is a fixed sign, doesn't like change, but that doesn't mean change is not good for you. Let's pull a card. You know, 20 judgment, air energy. Judgment is like, you know, okay, I don't know if you can see this really well. I feel like she is looking up to her higher self, calling in like the hopes, wishes, and dreams that she's already had. They have already had. This is not specific to women, of course. So this is about really like listening to the call. And that's what I'm actually getting. I'm getting like the call, what is it, the phrase? The call was coming from inside the house. That kind of like inkling of it's time to transform, time to change, time to like listen to your inner voice. You've collected all the information for over a year. You've collected information, Jupiter and Gemini, lots of information. And now it's time to make a judgment call. Is this the group you want to continue to work with? Are these the friends that you really want to hang out with? Are these the things that you really want for your future? Judgment comes in and is like, hey, you have to really fine tune and listen to yourself so you can move clearly on the path that you really want to do. All right. You really want to be on. Yeah. All right. I hope this has been helpful. See you next month. Alrighty, Virgo and Virgo risings. Hi, how are you doing with these mutable squares, right? Like Jupiter and Gemini has been squaring your sun, your moon, your rising, whatever placements you have had for over a year, creating some obstacles that you need to work through to get to where you want to be. And it's not lost on me, and it should not be lost on you that Gemini and yourself are ruled by the same planet, Mercury. It just shows up in very different ways. So once again, Gemini, who squares you, but also you share the same planet, is moving this new moon, and this new moon is moving in your 10th house of your career, your purpose, and your viability, your visibility, like how you are out in the world, your public image. What a beautiful new moon for you to be like, aha, this is how I want to move in the world. Aha, this is how I want to move in the world. This is what I want for my career. I've done the research. I've talked to the people. I've wrote out a list. I've done the pros and cons. I've done all of those things over the last year. I've really collected all the data. And now I really want to make a move in my career, in my purpose, my legacy, how I'm known out in the public realm. This moon really will bring some clarity. I don't know if it's going to be quite so fluid because, you know, Virgos have this thing about being a mutable sign, but they are quite rigid in their beliefs and quite judgmental, and they're not, and they might be judgmental on others, but they are the hardest on themselves. So, and it takes them a really long time to move on their plans. That's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to get into. What I suggest for you is allow this new moon to let you go, aha, bring you some clarity on how you want to be seen in your workplace, like in your career. You might go back to like old ideas and be like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I think I'm going to go back to school so then I can move up the chain in my work or something like that. That would be like a good idea. Remember, this is going to make a harmonious aspect to Pluto in your sixth house. Pluto in the sixth house is transforming your daily routines, is maybe transforming your colleagues, your co-workers. I think this has a lot to do with how you can envision what your daily life looks like when it comes to your career for the long term. Do it. Do the thing that you wanted to do. Do the thing that you wanted to do, because right now you feel kind of like unemotionally supported in that you are not getting all that you want. The Ten of Cups in reverse, it's like there is a delay in ultimate happiness, right? Ultimate emotional fulfillment. Because maybe you have felt very stuck. Very, very stuck. Hangman energy is Pisces energy, and your sister sign. There is this thing with Virgos that they can have the best plans. They can have the best ideas, but they really have a hard time moving on them. And then they get really frustrated when the world that they're living in, the life that they're living, is not what they want it to be. You have to make a move. Let this Gemini new moon come in, spark clarity, spark va-va-va-voomness, and start moving forward on that, okay? Okay. I will see you next month. You know I love you. I raised one. All right, let's go. Libra and Libra Rising. Hi. Maybe that is for you. Hi. Hello. How are you? This new moon in Gemini is happening in your ninth house. It's the house of beliefs, travel, wisdom, expansion. Traveling foreign and abroad. All right. So Gemini new moon here is like, boom. Gemini has actually been here for a long, Jupiter in Gemini has been here for a year for you. And even though Jupiter is not comfortable being in Gemini, Jupiter is comfortable in the ninth house because it's the house that it rules. So there has probably been a lot of collecting data on maybe you going back to school to learn something new, changing your beliefs, collecting data on where you want to travel, and just really like, how can I expand in this world, has maybe been going on for a year. The new moon coming in is like, finally you get this spark to say like, yeah, this is how I want to move. This is actually how I want to practice my spirituality. This is actually where I want to go. I'm going to book that trip. I'm going to go. I have all the documents ready. Let's do it. I love that. This is really a call back to your purpose and finding how you can move through the world that way, whether it is your spiritually based practice or learning something new. This is the time to really hone in on that and move forward. This is making a harmonious aspect to Pluto and Aquarius in your fifth house. So really, are you going to do something creative in another place, in a foreign place? Are you going to meet somebody and fall deeply in love with them in a foreign place or in school or something like that? There's something just really like new brewing, a creative expression. Maybe you travel somewhere to take the course, to learn something new, and this is very different for you, right? So it's kind of like, wow, I didn't know I was going to do this. I didn't know this was going to lead me down this path. Use this new moon to really like move forward in a way. Two major arcana cards that are in the reverse. There is some kind of delay and stuckness. The Emperor, which would probably kind of lean into your opposing sign, right? Because the Emperor is really like an Aries kind of card. So maybe you not feeling like you have everything in control. And maybe it's because there's just like things in the background that you've had to handle. The moon in reverse as well. There's some shadow things, some healing work that needs to um, take place. And really, it's probably just confronting things that you already know. I don't think there's anything like huge in the background that's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. No, maybe you have been feeling like you can't travel anywhere. You don't have the resources. You don't want to do it by yourself. All of those that lead you in this kind of like, I don't have the power kind of situation, when you absolutely do have the power to move forward and transform in ways, even if people are not validating that, right? And I think that is sometimes the issue with Libra. I'm a Libra moon. That like you want everybody to validate how you move in your life, when really you need to figure out how you want to move in your life and move in your life in that way. And the Emperor in reverse and the Moon in reverse really is saying like every relationship is not going to, or every partnership or every person you meet is not going to emotionally validate you, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do and move forward in a very assertive, I know what I'm doing kind of way. Okay? Let this new moon be an opportunity for you to be like, I'm doing it anyway. I love this for me. I'm curious. Let's do it. Okay? Okay. It makes a harmonious aspect to your rising sign as well, right? This air energy. So if we cannot feel like we're in the clouds and we could bring it back down to earth in a grounded, practical way and move forward, I think that would be super beneficial for you. All right, Libra and Libra risings, let me know how that works out for you. All right, Scorpio and Scorpio rising, hello. This is your new moon in Gemini video. This is happening in your 8th house. Wow. The 8th house, of course, intimacy, transformation, shared resources. This new moon is really asking you to, like, first of all, you know you've collected data on your intimate connection. Maybe you've already collected data on the grant, the loan that you want to apply for. You've collected data on all the ways you can transform a relationship or yourself. You collected all the data for a year. Now, what have we done with that data? Have we just sat on it? Have we been ruminating on it? This new moon comes into the 8th house with the sun and is like, hey, this is what you can do. You can revisit it, and then you can be a little bit vulnerable. You can have some conversations, be communicative in a very positive way, share the knowledge that you've gained so you can move forward in your intimate connections or apply for that grant or really start working towards your transformation of you. I love that. Especially because Pluto in the 4th is making an aspect to this during the new moon. If it comes to your family, I feel like people that have big Scorpio placements right now are having deep family issues, right? Because Pluto is in your freaking 4th house. There is a change and transformation, death and rebirth, power struggles. If you need to have conversations to transform those relationships, please do so under this new moon. It will give you the energy. It will give you the clarity on how to move forward. You know, you're ready to do that. You're ready to move forward in a more vulnerable, generous way, because the Four of Pentacles means like, the Four of Pentacles, at least in reverse, kind of means like you are like letting loose of maybe controlling where you live, because Pentacles, earth energy. You're letting loose of like, I want to say how you are controlling maybe your money, or letting people know like they can't control your money or they can't control your resources. They can't be doing things like that. I am the boss. I think this is, and I'm going to leave it at this card because I think this is the card, the only card you need. This is telling me there is something deeply tied into your security, your stability, your foundations. 4th house. Who in the home is bugging the shit out of you? Who is really, is it you bugging the shit out yourself? Or is it other people saying, like, this is how you need to use your funds? This is how you need to do these things? Because this ties into the fourth house as well, right? Your money is your money. Your money is your money. If you are asking people for loans and they have some crazy, what's the word I'm looking for? Ways of, like, oh my God, why is this word not coming to my brain? Attachments to it. Like, I'll give you this money, but you have to do A, B, C, or D. And those A, B, C, and D is wild. No, find something else. This new moon will present you opportunities that can be unexpected, and you don't have to put up with that BS. Okay? You can rewrite your foundation. You can rewrite how you spend your money, where your money goes, how you divvy up your resources, and how you feel secure and stable. It doesn't have to be the way that everybody thought it was going to be and the way that people are expecting you to show up. Okay? Okay. You know I love you. Alrighty. See you next month. Alrighty. Sag and Sag Risings. Hello. How are you? Hope you're faring well as this is happening across the way for you, right? It's your sister sign. And it's happening in the 7th house. Jeez Louise, there's just so much slowness, and the slowness actually makes a lot of sense. The delays, the obstacles, the challenges makes a lot of sense to all of us. For the last 5 months, but maybe even more so for you, Sag, because not only has Jupiter and Gemini been sitting across from you, there's also been the Pisces and Virgo have now moved into the South and North Node, and it's doing some squares to you, and you have some challenging mutable squares last year. So there's this sense of change and transformation, right? Things that are showing up in your life for you to like be like yay or nay, and then move with it. There might be a sense of restlessness, or you're feeling a little bit tired and not as like vibey and strong as you would typically feel. This new moon is happening in your 7th house of partnerships, of commitments, of collaboration, your one-to-one relationships. This moon highlights that. There are conversations that are probably going to come up so you can rework situations better. So there is more clarity, there's more vision, there's more alignment. Like, it's at a 6. So if people are like thinking about like, what can I do for my partner? What can my partner do for me? Yes. If this is a conversation that builds into like a healing space, also yes, very good. I love that for you. This new moon is going to make harmonious aspects to Pluto and Aquarius in your 3rd house. So being able to communicate it very, very clearly. Very, very clearly. I love that maybe you have lost your voice a while ago. Strength card in reverse. Maybe you have dimmed your light. Maybe people have been maybe you've been just feeling very overwhelmed and then you felt frozen. There is something about you not feeling as strong and capable, probably in your one-to-one relationships, probably with communication that is there. Definitely use this new moon to come back to yourself, especially now with the last degrees of Venus being in Aries, a fellow fire sign, and with Mars being in Leo, another fellow fire sign. Use that kind of like fire energy to come back to yourself. And this would definitely be the Leo card as well. So this is a sense of like, how can we feel very strong as we might have to communicate some things to people that they might not like, but you need them for personal alignment, like your vision on how you move forward. So definitely use this new moon to set some intentions around relationship dynamics and how you communicate clearly and effectively. Boundaries, probably. I am getting now, I just was like, oh, boundaries in those areas of your life as well, without like feeling like, oh, I don't want to say it because I don't want to rub people the wrong way. People will rub you the wrong way. They don't care. So why not? All right, Sag and Sag Risings. I hope that was super helpful. I will see you next month. Alrighty, Capricorn and Capricorn Rising. Let me just drink some water because, you know. All right. Capricorn and Capricorn Rising. Here we go. This new moon in Gemini is happening in your 6th house. Jupiter has already been there for a year. It's almost done. I don't know how happy you're going to be about that, but because it's going to move. It's going to move into your 7th. That actually might be really great, even though it's your opposition. But that might be lovely. It actually will be lovely. So this This Gemini new moon is happening in your 6th house. Habits, health, your daily routines. Okay? Set some intentions on refreshing, rearranging your self-care, your daily schedule, even if it's for just literally the next 2 weeks. I just think you've been quite tired, quite exhausted. People really were like, oh, Pluto moving out of Capricorn was going to be so easy for Capricorn risings and all the other cardinal signs. What's happening is there's remnants left, right? It's like picking up the pieces of all the transformation that has happened. And so now it's really about like, okay, I've learned all this information from that last transit, that really big one. So how can I now put the pieces back together again to make sure I'm living my most authentic life, making sure my daily schedule is comfortable for me, aligned to who I am right now and not 5 years ago or not 7 years ago or even 6 months ago, to be very honest. So like, how can we use this new moon to set us up for success in our daily schedule? I feel like because it is a Gemini moon, you need to communicate that to other people. You know, Capricorns, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn Venus. We don't like to really tell people lots of things because we believe you should already know this because we know it. Why don't you already understand it, right? Why don't you already get it? That's not the best perspective to have because some people just don't get it. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know. So maybe you communicate to people like, I'm off the clock at 4 o'clock. Like, I'm not responding to any of your emails. At my lunch, I won't respond to any of these things. I'm coming in at 9 or whatever time, right? These times are like general. But you're communicating hard boundaries and you're doing it in a way that people can understand it, that they will not mistake what you're saying, that they won't feel butthurt or get defensive. You're going to do it in a way that lands beautifully, okay? This is making aspects to your 2nd house of how you make your money and self-confidence. So really you're transforming like maybe your day-to-day schedule, especially if you're like in this entrepreneurship area or starting a small business or a project that's going to turn into something that makes money for you, or you've just been spending too much money. This moon can come in and give you a lot of clarity on how you can work that business, and make more money or fine tune your budget. And then your daily schedule becomes a little bit easier. Your mental health becomes a little bit better. But there's a lot that can happen when you take some time out to get some clarity on who you are right now and how you want to move forward, and knowing that not everything has to be done immediately. You can take your time, do things hour by hour, day by day, and the Gemini new moon is going to show you that, and then that'll help you in other areas of your life, like especially if your self-worth, if you're not getting all the things done that you thought that you should have, could have, would have been getting done, and then you're beating yourself up about it, that's no bueno. So let this new moon help you find new ways to create a more sustainable daily schedule and some health habits, okay? Maybe money habits as well. Here's your card, the Lovers. You know, I love the Lovers because the thing about the Lovers, like, while it could be like, yeah, it brings in a partner, right? This partnership is you. When there's a harmonious aspect to the 2nd house of your relationship with money, your relationship to your values, your relationship to yourself, this is putting 2 and 2 together. This is this is creating sustained routines that make you feel healthy, that make you feel confident, that make you feel loved and aligned. And like this, of course, this could be like a love relationship. Like you meet somebody at work, a coworker, six house things, a coworker is like, hey, let me help you with your budget. Hey, let me show you a way that you can manage your time a little bit better, right? That's possible. It's a six as well. So that's completely possible. There is a person in your life that comes in that really helps you and shows you how you can manage your time and your budget better. But I think this is more about like you coming to terms with like, I need to come back to myself. I need to get it together for myself. I need to love on myself a little bit better. I need to show myself a little bit more compassion. I am my best lover. you know? You know? All right, Capricorns. And people don't think Capricorns are lover guys or lover girls, but Capricorns are lovers at heart. You know? Let me know if this speaks to you. I would love to hear it. I'll see you next month. All right, Aquarius and Aquarius Rising. How fare thee? How are you? Pluto in that first house. Rocking you. I hope it's not rocking you too bad. You know it's all for the good. It's listening to the inklings, the changes. You know, that kind of came out sideways. So if it comes out sideways, I'm going to put it in the upright. Here's the thing. This Gemini New Moon, a fellow air sign, air energy, landed in the fifth house. Maybe you have felt really stagnant. Very, very stagnant in your creative expressions, in your dating life, flirtation, and being just playful in your passion and joy. You have felt like womp womp. And I know you probably have because you've had so many fixed squares going on, right? Like the full moon of Scorpio was like so difficult. Mars being in Leo is probably across from you is probably like, good Lord, when do you think you're going to move out the seventh house, right? Like there's just been so much going on for you personally. So you might have felt very overwhelmed and not feeling very creative, not feeling very flirtatious or joyful. Gemini comes in and is like, hey, let's be a little like, let's have a good time. Let's go out. Let's be social. Let's write about something. Let's dance about something. Let's get into our creative bag. I really love this for you. It's really inviting you to create spaces of joy and lean into that a little bit more than I'm not going to say like deep healing work, but I am going to say that when you forget about joy, you forget about passion, the healing work becomes a lot more challenging. Sometimes we have to take breaks from this like healing journey thing, right? You have to put that on the back burner. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be something to work on. But can we create moments of joy and passion to bring a little bit of smile to our heart space, a little bit of joy to our sacral space, right? Remember, it's going to make a very harmonious aspect to Pluto in the first house. So how are you expressing your creative joy? How are people seeing you show up joyfully and I was going to say funly, but playfully? I think someone, and the card that came out was the Six of Pentacles. So like there are some things that are out there that want to play with you, that want to show you opportunities for creativity, for grounded flirtation, for grounded like joy and passion. The Six of Pentacles is generous, right? Like it's someone offering things. So I think maybe you have been so single-minded on like how you move on from things and how you can heal things. And you've really been not taking in all the things that people have to offer to help you move through that energy. Going to concerts, going to plays, going to the movies, like paying for your dinner, like that kind of thing. So I would definitely say take some time out during this new moon in Pisces, new moon in Gemini, to come back to your playful joy. You've already probably done the data on how you want to move forward, how you want to write that book, you want to start acting, you want to do other. Put on your phone and start doing a scene. Start singing. Pull up a Google Doc and start writing. You know, like have a good time with it. All right. I hope that has been helpful for you. Lots of sixes this time around, and this new moon is at a 6. Really like transformation and optimism, like hoping for the best, moving on, this idea of like, oh, we're moving forward. It's going to work out for me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I'll see you next month, Aquarians. Alrighty, Pisces and Pisces Rising, hello, how are you? This new moon in Gemini is happening in your 4th house of home, family, and foundations. Okay, well, Jupiter has been there for a while. Squaring your rising sign, maybe expanding you, showing maybe cracks in the family structure or foundations from back in the day, family life, and you've been trying to navigate that. Now the new moon and sun there is really actually going to illuminate it even more, and it's going to ask you to either set some clear boundaries. It's going to ask you to confront family patterns. Maybe you are communicating a move to family or people you live with. Maybe somebody is moving in with you. Maybe you're redecorating the home. Any of those things can happen with this new moon in the 4th house. It's going to make a harmonious aspect to Pluto in the 12th, which is shaking up your behind the scenes things. So it's like maybe uncovering lots of like things in the background, things that you need to heal from, and maybe causing you to want to really be a nappy kind of person. Like not nappy, but like a napper. Is that a word? Like wanting to nap and sleep and just kind of like take it easy for a bit, which is understandable. But there's been a lot of uncovering of subconscious patterns with the family, I'm assuming, because it's making the aspect to the 4th house. Maybe, and there's a moon here, so maybe with the mother at this point. So I would say this is an opportunity to have conversations, communicate clearly. Communicate clearly, have the conversation so you can really start healing these wounds. The Star in reverse and the Ace of Swords in reverse. And there's 2 women, and this deck is not all women. There are men in the deck, but this came out as a very female-based card. Does not go over my head that there is probably something with the mother. Communication with the mother, needing to heal from things with the mother, and it has been a slow process. It has been a process that you might not have even really wanted to deal with. That you might are like, I am pretending I'm going to be in denial about this. Pluto in the 12th house is like, you can no longer be in denial about it. You really actually have to start doing some work to manage this, to heal this. It's affecting your everyday life. And you haven't communicated anything to anyone. Maybe this is not even communicating to the mother yet, because you ain't ready. They ain't ready. And maybe they never will be. But maybe this is finding a therapist to start communicating these things, because there has been no communication. You don't know what's going on. You do know what's going on, but you haven't been able to see it clearly or get feedback on it and navigate it through it in a way that like would be really beneficial for you, that would be really healing to you. So my suggestion for the new moon is, if you've already been thinking about like seeing a therapist or finding somebody that is a healer that can help you navigate the junk that's coming up from the 12th house, specifically if it deals with the mother, it is time to seek out that. It is time to get clarity and be like, all right, this is what I need to do so I can move forward, so I can be a healthier person. It doesn't matter what they think, what they will do. What matters is how you're navigating it and how you're behaving and how it's affecting your life. Okay? Okay. I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you next time. If you stayed this long, thanks. Please share, please comment, please like this, and I will see you next month.